Welcome to Conversations in the Closet with your host, motivational speaker, fitness expert, and fashion guru, Teresa Romer.
Welcome to Conversations in the Closet. I am Teresa Romer. Today our guest is Lacey Brown.
Hi.
Oh my God, we're so excited to have you in the closet today. So this segment today is all about fitness. You know how dear and near fitness is to my heart. I've been into fitness ever since I was a little girl, and I can't seem to shake it. So today, Lacey, gosh, tell us about yourself.
I have been the same way as you. I've been involved in fitness for years, since I was a teenager, and I took my first weight training class. I was addicted.
Isn't it funny? I mean,
Yes.
it's like you do that one class and you're addicted.
Yes, and then that evolved into a membership at a local gym, which turned into me working at the gym and training by the time I was 16.
See?
So, yeah.
It just gets into your, I mean, like, there's worse things to be addicted to.
Right. If you have to have an addiction, fitness has to be one.
That's
of
what
them.
I always tell people, because people will say to me, do you work out every day? And I'm like, yeah, don't you brush your teeth every day?
Right?
I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, like, to me, it's amazing how addictive it really is. And
Absolutely.
so many times in my life, I would always rely on fitness to bring me out of a funk,
Yes.
to get me through a bad time in my life. I mean, it's an amazing drug, is what I call it.
There are different ways to handle bad times, and I think like fitness of all things is absolutely the healthiest.
Yes.
I mean, you could drink a bottle of wine, right?
Or
you
some
can
of
go
us
for a
do.
run. Yeah, some of us do. I mean, there is that balance, but go for a run, you feel great.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
therapeutic.
I always tell people, life is about moderation.
Yes.
You know, everything's okay in moderation. But I think sometimes fitness is like, you just have to go overboard.
Yeah,
sometimes.
get overboard at that, and it's okay.
So let's enlighten our listeners and our viewers. When did you become a trainer?
Like I said, when I got that membership at the local gym when I was 16 years old, I began working there shortly after. So
Right.
at 16, I remember answering the phones at the front desk at a local club and then asking if I could pick up some clients. I'm like,
Right.
I can handle this, This lady walked in, she needed some help, and I'm like, I knew enough by then, I'm like, I can guide you. In fact, I can show you how to use this machine,
Right.
And then she loved working with me, and I just picked her up. That was my first client, and then a few here and there until it was a full-time gig.
So you were already nationally certified at 16, or you were just?
I was not. I was in, I don't know what the requirement was in Oklahoma at that young age, but they didn't ask. and
You didn't have to prove yourself?
I didn't have to prove myself there. I'm not sure about the state requirement.
Yeah,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
That's, well, and sometimes, and I'm much older than you, so,
Right.
but back when I got my start, you were a certified Nautilus instructor. That tells you
okay.
how.
I've heard of it.
And then
tell
it
you the
became,
details.
and then it became personal trainers,
Right.
But yeah, so, but it's kind of funny, like when you come from a smaller town, I'm assuming.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was around the Tulsa area.
Yeah, but when you come from a smaller town, those particular gyms don't necessarily always require you to be nationally certified,
Right.
which causes a lot of liability on the gym, but
Yes.
that's, So you fell in love with it at a young age, like myself.
Yes.
And you're still going at it.
Yes. So I went through college and I had like a day job, 8 to 5, behind a laptop, spreadsheets and all that.
Mhm.
But I would still go to the gym on my own and I would still give advice. And
Right.
then I guess about 10 years ago or so, I was still doing my desk job and really missing working in fitness. And so one day I'm just like, I've had it with the desk job. I'm going to go back to fitness. I had a few friends and family that absolutely thought I was crazy because I had a great job.
Right,
You
right.
know, but I wasn't satisfied. It wasn't rewarding.
Right.
There was nothing rewarding about it. And so I went back into fitness and took off. It was only a matter of months before I had a full list of clients
Right.
and doing what I loved. And it's no problem picking up clients when you absolutely have that passion for it.
Right. So that aha moment.
Yes, it was a great decision, and now I have friends who are like, how did you do it? How did you make that move? How did you stop collecting the paycheck from your 8 to 5?
Right,
And
right.
make that decision.
Right. Yeah.
So-
And mine came, it was like I was always doing fitness, but it was more like a hobby. Yeah, I got
Yes,
paid a little
yes.
bit, but it was like a hobby.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I end up divorced, and it's like, can I really make a living at what I was doing as a hobby?
Yes.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
the same.
of course I can.
I had gone through a divorce too.
Yes.
Going through a divorce, I needed that extra time to stay with my young daughters.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Right.
So I needed a schedule that was flexible, where I wasn't driving to the office and I was making my own hours.
And that's a scary moment when
scary.
you are normal. You're used to that normal paycheck, that
Yes.
security
Yep.
every 2 weeks, and now you're like self-employed.
Yes.
You're like, can I really do it?
Right. And if there's ever a time and you have 2 children relying on you and nobody else in the world to rely on but yourself, that's when you make it work. You know?
Exactly.
You don't have a choice. So.
That's right.
I had this internal drive, like,
We
I've
could
got to
be
make it
twins
work.
here. We
Yeah.
could be twins here.
Your
Because
story does remind me of mine.
Yes, yeah. So it's a scary moment when you're sitting there looking at your 2 young children and
Yes.
going, it's not a hobby anymore. I gotta make this work.
Right. This is fun, but now it's business.
And I used to have a sign that hung above my desk said, why would I work for you 8 hours a day when I can work for myself 16 hours a day?
Exactly. Right.
And that's what you do when you're self-employed,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
So we love our jobs, we love fitness, it's a way of our lives, we can't get enough of it. How has social media started to filter its way into your business?
Man, social media has been the most amazing free advertisement.
Isn't it great?
Yeah, it's so great, and it gives me an outlet to write. I love to write, so some days I'll just feel incredibly inspired, and I just start writing, usually in the notepad on my phone, you know? And then
Perfect.
thought after thought after thought on those creative days,
Right.
and then I can put that on social media. Usually it's something that's I've been inspired by a client. You know,
Right.
a client will come in and like something will really move them, and I'll, you know, offer some kind of guidance that they can relate to, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go write about it. So I write and I post, and those are actually the posts that I get the most hits on, that move the most people, that people can
So how
relate
long have you
to.
actually been on social media, do you think?
I've been on social media. Every time a new platform would come out, I would join, but I wasn't using it.
Facebook
to
first?
Facebook, when Facebook came out, I joined.
Jumped
I'd
on.
have a couple
Mhm.
likes here and there. Wasn't using it to promote my business,
Right.
but more to connect with family and
Right,
friends.
right.
Yeah,
Then-
and then I think it was MySpace, and then Facebook, and then I started reading about how to use social media as a tool.
Mhm.
And that's around the time I think Instagram came out,
Mm-hmm.
and Snapchat shortly after.
Right.
So I saw some of my fitness idols, basically, you know,
Right.
people that would motivate me, how they were using
Mhm.
social media,
Mhm.
and I basically copied the way they did it, you know. So like the pictures, I saw what would work. And someone that was in my industry, that was like had the small studios, and
Right.
see what they were getting responses on,
Right.
and kind of emulated that with my own words,
Mhm.
though, and the posting schedules and so on. Instagram was completely unfamiliar to me for a while.
Right.
I remember watching how-to videos on YouTube for that one.
I was scared to death of Instagram.
Yeah, me
Like
too.
Facebook, I had it down, no
Yes.
problem. But Instagram, I'm like, what? How do
Yes.
you do this? What? I don't think I can do it.
Right,
Yeah,
but
it was
you have
a
to.
learning curve.
Yes,
learning curve.
and then I was reading that in the fitness industry, Instagram was such a valuable tool as far as like the free advertisement and like the local hashtags and geotags. So I realized that was something I had to learn.
Right.
I had to learn to take advantage of that, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, like it's at our fingertips.
yes,
And I'm probably the worst when it comes to social media because I'm like, I don't understand it. I hire it out.
yeah, right.
But you have to learn it. I mean,
Yes.
it's in your best interest to learn it. I can remember the first time I went from a flip phone to an iPhone. You know, it was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what? I've never, or a BlackBerry.
I remember
you know,
that
the
too, with the
BlackBerry to
iPhone.
the iPhone. You know, I was like, no, I don't want to give up my BlackBerry.
Right.
But it's a learning curve, you know. But so when it comes to Instagram, what do you think helps you get the most interaction or the most comments from people?
Well, half of my following is guys, right?
Of
so
course.
if I'm posting a fitness shot in a bikini, that
Mhm.
obviously gets a lot of likes.
course.
But that's not necessarily the audience I'm trying to appeal to.
Right.
So even though that'll get me a lot of likes, I am looking for female clients, middle ages, all over the world. I do
Right.
some online training.
Mhm.
So I like to post stuff that motivates the females, you
Right,
know?
right.
So that would be more like a workout, you know?
Right.
Like what workout can I do on the beach when I have no weights
Mhm.
and I don't know what to do. I want
Right.
a leg day on the beach.
Right.
So then I'll post that,
Mhm.
and I won't get as many likes, but it will be more likes and comments from people
More
in the segment
interactions.
that I'm worried
Yeah,
about.
because it's not hard for a pretty girl to post a pretty picture and get guys.
Absolutely not.
You know.
You can post a pretty picture, face tune your waist in, boobs out, and then you're going to get tons of likes, right? But for what?
Right.
For what?
Exactly. Just a nice comment. Oh,
Right.
you look good.
Ego
girl."
boost.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know?
But with my brand, I'm constantly looking for those women to buy my fitness wear.
Right.
So the men aren't
men,
buying the
who
fitness
cares, right? They're not buying your fitness wear for their wives, most
No.
likely.
Or even my book,
Right.
I mean, like, I've had a few times I've been on an airplane and I will purposely bring out, my Naked in 30 Days book and just to see what kind of action I get around, my audience around me. And they'll, invariably there'll be a man because he likes the picture on the front. Wow, that's a nice looking picture. And then he'll be like, can I buy one of those for my wife? And I'm
Yes.
like, oh Lord, I hope your wife.
For my wife.
But sometimes the wives will be like, "Why did you give me this book?"
Yes.
What, you saying I'm fat? I'm like, or
Could be
who
insulting.
knows? So social media I find is and what's so funny is we're finding the bigger department stores like Neiman Marcus and Bloomingdale's. They're trying to figure out how these smaller people, such as yourself or myself or whoever, are doing so well with online sales on
Yes.
Instagram because the big stores are trying to muscle their way in there now, and they're trying to figure it out. They've come to find out that maybe all those huge dollars they're spending on advertising in magazines,
Yeah.
it really isn't getting them any more traffic than what they could get off of Instagram.
Absolutely. I know when I spend money on printed material and signs and advertisements in the back of T-shirts, whatever, I don't get nearly the response as I do for a free ad on social media.
Yeah.
Just a post.
Yeah. So you've been in the fitness industry a while. You've been in social media for a while. What would be your advice to a new fitness person coming into the scene and trying to go after that business?
I think the best idea is to find someone that you want to emulate, like I did at first, and see how they found success. You can't randomly post a picture here that doesn't match anything else in your feed. There has to be consistency, and you have to write stuff that's targeted to the audience that you're trying to reach.
Right.
That's key. And on top of that, your posts have to be consistent. You can't post like Monday here and then like Thursday next week.
Right.
You have to keep people engaged.
Do you think you post numerous times throughout the day or just daily?
I post daily, but I know it would be beneficial to me if I posted more. And that's where I think you could have somebody, there are companies that actually manage your accounts and they will, they'll post regularly on a schedule, and there's even apps that will schedule the posts for you.
Right.
But I could definitely take advantage of that, and I feel like I'm not using it to its full potential. I know I'm not.
Right.
There's no question.
But we try to have a life.
Yes,
And
yes.
myself, I'm guilty of it. Sometimes my husband will be like, "Really? We're at dinner, honey. Can
You
put
have to
away-
get the perfect angle on the plate of food that you're gonna post later.
Can you put the phone away?" So
Yeah.
we have to find that balance of
Exactly.
how we can get out there and be out there on social media as much as we need to be, but yet have a life and try to put the phone away too.
Right, and another thing that helps me there is when I was telling you I get creative and inspired and I write, I'll write several posts at once, knowing that it's beneficial to post every day or daily or several times a day. Save those up. Like, don't say like tomorrow something bad can happen and I might be in a funk and I can't think of anything creative.
Right.
My creative gears aren't turning.
Or you
So-
just have one of those days where
Yes.
you want to relax.
Right, you want to relax, you want to go on vacation, you're in Mexico, you don't know if you're going to have Wi-Fi, So save those posts up.
Or
and-
just like your photos, it's
Yes.
like you need to have everything stockpiled so that
Exactly,
at
or
any given
say
time.
like today you look beautiful, this is a day to get
Ooh, we're gonna do photos.
yes, do a bunch of pictures, change your outfits, add some
Because
show on
yesterday there was no
something.
makeup, hair in a
Yeah.
bun,
And so people new to Instagram don't realize that. They think like, man, that girl looks great every single day, and she just thinks of these amazing words, every day.
And that's why I also like to posts out there where I do look like crap.
Yes, that's
Because,
that's
like,
good too because people
I'm having one
relate.
of those days. I don't want to put makeup on. I
Yeah.
look like hell. I feel like hell, but it's okay.
Yeah, so like,
I'm
okay,
normal.
I can relate to her. She is absolutely normal, you know, because you'll get the messages that say, "Are you real?" Yeah.
Exactly, because guess what? We don't always roll out of bed with makeup on
Right.
and looking like we're dressed to the nines.
Exactly.
It takes work.
Unfortunately.
So with Instagram,
Yes.
we all love to get followers.
Yes.
We love to see that number climb, climb, climb. Sometimes it goes backwards. Sometimes
Yes,
it goes
does.
forward. But what number do you think you finally reached where you finally thought, wow, this might actually help me make money, like monetarily, like
I
where
think-
endorsements were offered to you, where, you know, it became part of a money flow issue too.
I remember back in the day when I had 3,000 followers, you know, and I was wondering how in the world these people got to even 10,000,
Right,
you know?
right.
Like you said, the numbers go up and down, and you're like, okay, keep going up. What is making that number go up? And I remember at the beginning, I told myself I'm going to take a year and try to grow my followers. You know, I have all these product ideas, I have stuff to sell, but I have no audience.
Right.
You know, these 300 people or 3,000 people don't want to buy what I have. So I obviously needed followers.
Right.
Then before I knew it, I think it was 3 months later, I had 18,000 followers just by engaging
Right.
and making that effort. You know, just every day I'm going to post every day. I'm going to interact with people every day. It's going to be worthwhile content. And so making that effort, it grew a lot faster than I expected it to. And then around that same time, I don't know why 18,000 sticks out in my mind, but it does. I started getting those offers for endorsements. People want to mail me everything, you know, from like, I remember these gelatin coffee cubes to protein bars, protein powder,
Right.
apparel, you know. Then those offers started coming in around the 20,000 follower mark, and then I think I have around 65 now, and it's definitely grown exponentially with the more followers. And then I've also heard that companies hire you based on the number of followers. Like a client will say, I want to promote my product and I want a fitness person to promote it, but they need to have X number of followers. Like, I don't want to work with her unless she has 50,000 followers,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And then, of course, it costs more money.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So every post is worth a certain amount of money,
Right.
depending
Right.
on the amount of followers you have.
Right. Did it jump from 18 or 20 to like 30, or just it was always gradual
It was
for you?
progressive. I think Instagram changes their algorithms. And
Yes.
so for a while, it was growing super fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then they made some adjustments and the growth slowed down.
Mm.
And then they changed it again and it got even slower. You know, it wasn't so easy.
Right.
So with the last change, I'm not sure when that was, months ago, you just really have to engage. You really have to be active. You can't just let your account idle on and expect growth like you could at the beginning.
Right.
So-
Right. Yeah. And I'll notice like it'll just be almost stagnant for a while.
Right.
Like I know there's some growing
Yeah.
behind, but that one number won't change forever.
Right, because people unfollow and then follow.
Right,
You know, you
right.
just need more following.
And then all of a sudden
unfollowing.
you'll get like 3,000 followers overnight.
Where'd they
You're
come
like,
from?
"Whoa, where did they come from? What did I do?" You know, and then you're like, "What did I do?" Like,
Yes, yes, exactly.
What-
Did
okay,
they change something or did I do something
right,
different?
right. So
It's trying to figure
like
it
that
out.
guessing game all the
Mhm,
time.
absolutely.
Right. Yeah, it's. If it was so easy, I guess we'd all have like 1 million followers.
Exactly. And then you have to have the patience and the discipline to make yourself do that every day and
Yeah, but
continue figuring it out.
I find though my biggest struggle is just trying to find the time to, because like you, I mean, like I'm not one of those people that's only on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Snapchat. I'm on Twitter. I've got 2 Facebook accounts. I mean, like LinkedIn. I mean, like
Yes.
there's a lot. And so by the
It's a
time
job.
No, it is. And so by the time you try to spend a little bit of time with all of them, your whole day, you
Yes.
know. And I'm like, okay, I didn't get anything else
It
done.
can quickly turn into hours, yes?
or but you know, you're trying to work on everything, and then you're like, well, I was really going to do a photo shoot today, but now it's already 6 o'clock at night.
But I got an awesome post.
So we have now covered how you got started, how I got started, social media, Instagram. So now you've got the attention of say someone getting ready to get married,
Right.
or someone's getting ready for a class reunion, whatever.
Yes.
Something big in their life, right?
Yes.
They've seen your pictures, they like what they're seeing, they like your interactions, they're like, wow,
Yes.
I think I want to hire her. Like, maybe she can get me ready for that
Yes.
event or whatever, right? But they're scared.
Yes.
It's hard to ask for help. I don't
That's
care
the
who
hardest
you are.
part.
That's
you
the
know?
hardest part, is asking for help. So she reaches out to you.
Right. So I have a private studio on the west side of the Woodlands, and the hardest part really is actually walking through the door, because these women will come in literally with tears in their eyes because they're so scared to ask for help. They're so scared of what it's going to entail and how hard it's going to be, and where they've let themselves get to. A lot of times they just can't believe they put this much weight on,
Right.
and it's overwhelming. And so, man, I just feel their emotion when they come in, and I do have a passion for it. I genuinely want to help these women and men that walk through the door, and I just have all this knowledge to share from the years of experience.
Right.
And so I listen to where their struggle is. A lot of times it's the food.
And everybody's
it's
is
often
different.
the food. Everybody's is different, you know.
Food is
so-
comforting.
Food is comforting, especially at night before bed. All those carbs.
And they've had a couple glasses of
Had a
wine.
couple glasses of wine,
And
it
they're
adds
not
up.
liking themselves, so
Yes.
I'm just going to eat more food.
Yeah, and they don't, and there's so much controversial information, and every magazine says something different. You know, eat high carb, eat low carb, eat lots of fat.
It's like
you know,
it's like reading WebMD.
yeah.
Don't go there.
What is right? You know. So then they mix and match and drink wine on top of that, feeling sorry for themselves, and it's this cycle, and it just continues. So they're so overwhelmed and confused when they come in. They're just like, please tell me the secret formula, or do you have a pill I can take?
Yeah. Everybody wants the secret pill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
let's get it off overnight.
Yeah, so I like to identify the problem, you know, the thing that they struggle with the most. And if they're receptive, if they've actually come into the gym and they're like absolutely ready for a change, they're so easy to transform.
Yes.
You know, it's
Yeah.
just science.
It's-
I teach them the workout, what workout they need to expect, the diet they need to follow depending on their lifestyle and their
Yeah.
taste preferences, and then any supplement recommendations.
Right.
And if they'll just follow these steps with discipline and consistency, it works every time.
I used to tell
Every
my
single
clients,
time.
because invariably I get some woman that she wouldn't be losing inches or weight, you know, and I'd be
Yeah.
like, are you sure you're eating the meal plans? Oh yes, I'm following everything.
Following the plan.
And I'm like, no, you're not.
I know,
No.
and you can know after years of
So
experience.
my favorite saying to any of them would be like, when you cheat no one but yourself.
Absolutely right.
I don't care. You're paying me to do this. I want you to succeed, but if you're going to keep cheating, you're only cheating yourself.
Yeah, so if you
Don't
are
you want this?
standing in the light of your refrigerator at night and eating stuff out of the door, it's going to show in your body.
And I used to tell them, you train with me 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
An hour each time. So out of an entire week, I see you 3 hours. I'm not responsible for what you're doing the other 100 and
Yes.
something hours
Yes.
of that week. I'm responsible for those 3 hours. I've given you the tools. I've given you the guidelines. Other than coming and living with you.
Right, and I have had requests for that. Do you have a fat camp? Can I stay with you?
I got an extra bedroom. Okay.
Yeah, so how bad do they want it? How bad do they want to change their bodies?
Well, and sometimes they want it, but they don't want it yet. Like
Right.
they still haven't convinced themselves. Like they haven't hit rock bottom yet.
That's it. It's
It's
rock
like,
bottom.
oh, I want to do it, yeah. But you've got to literally, the people that succeed the most are the ones that have finally hit rock bottom. They can't stand what they look like anymore. They can't stand how they feel anymore.
They're the ones that walk in with tears in their eyes. They're the happiest. They make me so happy to see. If they
Yes.
walk in with tears in their eyes, you know they're going to change.
Yeah.
You can tell within 5 minutes.
It's like the
whether
person
they're
that wants to
going
give up
succeed.
smoking. You know, do you really want to give up smoking, or are you just saying so?
Right.
And you're not going to be successful. You're right. So you're right. And that's the hardest part, is asking for help. I always found that too. Women would walk in, they'd be like, do you have a back room we can train in? No, we're going to do it right out here. I got cameras
People.
too.
Yes.
Well, this has been very enlightening. I love this conversation. It's always fun
Thank you. It's great.
to talk with someone else that has that same drive and same passion that I have for just changing people's lives. You know, my whole thing was I always thought I was supposed to be a nurse, but then I was like, no, I don't want to deal with sick people. I want to help
Yes.
people not have to go to the doctor. And
Yes,
so
that's so rewarding.
That's so rewarding. You know, so some people, they might do it for the money. I don't know. But I used to tell my clients, if I could just train you for free, I'd be the
I
happiest
say
person
the
in the world.
same thing.
But, you know, unfortunately I have bills to pay and house payments
Exactly.
and kids and all that kind of stuff. But it's so rewarding. Like when you've changed someone's world and they're standing in front of
Yeah,
you
even
crying.
one person, it is so rewarding.
So rewarding. They get off their medications,
Yeah.
their marriage improves. It just, yeah. So thank you so much for being in this
You're
conversation
welcome.
today in the closet. We
The
love these
closet
segments.
is amazing.
So thank you guys. Make sure you get out there and find you on Instagram where?
Lacey Brown Fit.
There you go. Go Google her, go find her, go like her, go follow her. So with that said, guys, you can find me everywhere out there on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Just look for Teresa Romer, YouTube, you name it, I'm out there. Till next time.